progress.
We continue this afternoon's press conference. We have head coach Pascal Jansen. If we have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll go with Roberto.
Coach, the effort in Philly and the way that you played, you continue to be really aggressive on the road. One loss out of the last 9 on the road. Kevin O'Toole spoke about the bulletproof mentality and that's what they rely on. How does all of this serve you to go into Miami on Saturday?
If you look at it from that perspective, it's going to be the same because it's going to be a very tough game away from home again against one of the best teams in the league. So we do have to make sure that mentality is going to be there again to have a good chance of reaching the other final.
As far as Miami is concerned, the last time you played them, you lost 4-0, but I'm sure you've reviewed that tape a million times and to see what you can do differently. But now Miami's also playing a little bit differently. They dropped Suarez, they're putting Messi in the middle, they got Allende and Segovia running around, or maybe not Segovia, but they have them running. Silvetti, right, from the outside running in. How does that change for you as far as your approach to the game?
Well, that's something we have to look into. Obviously, they changed Luis Suarez in the last few games. So setup is slightly different. But we have to be prepared for whatever scenario they throw at us. So we don't just conclude at this moment that Suarez is not going to play, or anybody for that matter. We have to prepare ourselves to be ready for whatever setup they have and just make sure that we stay true to our own principles.
Thank you.
Christian?
Obviously, the big name on that roster is Lionel Messi, and trying to stop him at this point in the season seemed like a tall task for a lot of these teams. When it comes to kind of game planning against arguably one of the greatest players in the world, how do you approach that? Do you try and put a lot of emphasis on that? Do you try and balance that and say this isn't just Messi versus you guys? It's another. Like, how do you try and balance that? Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's that question because a lot of people can assume it's Messi against all these other teams, but that's not the case. They have great players, whoever they want to play in the starting 11. So, and Messi is a league of its own. That's clear. So. We just address it like it is, discuss the things, have that conversation about the do's and don'ts. Obviously, like Roberto said just now, watch the game that we played at home. I think if you go back to that game, close to 70, 72 minutes, it was a pretty even game with 2 big opportunities for us to go 1-0 up before they even scored the goal. So that's something that we have to take into account, but also respect the fact that they've been playing a little different than back then. And like I said just now, just be ready for whatever they throw at us.
Have you gotten a chance to watch a bit of those playoff games? I understand you're going through your own playoff series and games, matches, and all that. Have you gotten a chance to watch much Inter Miami? And I'm just curious too, when you look at a player like Messi, obviously everyone sees the goals and that, but when you watch him play as a coach, is there something that maybe a layman wouldn't notice that you notice as a coach and go, wow, that really does make him such a special player?
If that were the case, I'm not going to tell you now. But other than that, we have to respect the qualities on the other side. It's clear, and it looks like the team is in a good place at the moment, scoring a lot of goals, slightly different game plan. So we have to take all those things into account. But sometimes it might be even hard to forget that's not us, to be very clear on that. But sometimes it might be hard to see your own qualities, your own perspective if you play against a good team, a good side like Miami. But that's not us. So we know we have a good side, we have good players. We've shown that throughout the season many times, that we're very competitive as well. And we have to have our plan ready again going into this decisive game. And that's what we're going to do.
Just to ask about one player here. When it comes to the way Maxi's played this season and his importance to the team, a lot of these guys have talked about his leadership qualities.
Yeah.
How much easier has that made your job kind of transitioning in here, in a new league, new team, kind of getting your bearings, to have someone out there that seemingly is almost at certain points like a second coach on the field there, and has been very able to take some of these other players and put them under his wing and help guide them through a lot of different situations.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on throughout the week since day one, and Maxi is a leading figure in that whole spectrum. You can see he can translate a lot of things on pitch. Obviously, we also have our conversation off pitch as well, but he's one of the main characters. He's in a good place at the moment, very important on and off the field, but don't forget all the other guys behind the scenes, because there's a lot of them that take their responsibility, and Maxi is one of them.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Onto the Zoom, we'll go with Andrew.
Hey, Andrew Lee with Hudson River Blue. So throughout the playoffs, we've seen your team kind of absorb a lot of pressure and have success getting out on the counter and scoring on the counter. In Philly, you guys got the one goal and sort of absorbed a lot of pressure from then on in the game and held on. Do you think that formula can work against Miami, knowing that they've been on this stretch where they've scored, 4-0 2 games in a row, and they've just been a very sort of prolific attacking team? Like, do you think you need to create more chances and be more on the front foot against them, or will you just kind of still rely on what got you here and the sort of defensive solidity that you've had in the last couple of games?
How can I put this? I'm not going to interpret that question the wrong way, or at least try not. I've said throughout the season that we have several tools in our tool bag to make sure that we can dominate our games. Being out of possession is one of the phases in the game. So if you look at the previous game that we played against Philly, I think the game status was pretty even, apart from the final phase. And if you play away against Philly, with them being 1-0 down, throwing everything at you in order to get back into the game, you might get pushed back a little bit. And that happened also in Charlotte, because they were chasing the game. And there's two things. Either you have to step up and make sure that the quality in possession stays at a very high level in order to control the game. If that is not the case, or slightly different, you have to make sure that there's a solid defensive organization that keeps the goal clean, and make sure that you use the other tools, and one of them is the transition, to go forward and also be decisive. So those are things that you've seen throughout the playoffs, but as I mentioned in the beginning, it's just part of our toolbox.
Scott?
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Schirzler, Street Pump Soccer.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, talk a little bit, obviously, Aiden O'Neill's had his return at this point. Talk a little bit about the expectation with him going in and what you're looking for him in this match. Thanks.
If you go back to the end of the MLS season, there was a few games that we had to keep Aiden aside, playing a lot of games and making sure that he stays fit and fresh in order to play the games that we find necessary for him to be on pitch. Obviously, he's been out of the game for Philly because he was suspended, but throughout the season, he's shown his importance for this team. He is actually the glue between the defensive line and midfield going forward. He is that key player in the attachment of both phases, has grown a lot in what we ask from him. So having him available again for this game against Miami is, of course, for us a very important key factor.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Just when it comes to sort of the narrative around the team throughout the playoffs, it's kind of been the underdogs the last couple matches. I'm just curious, knowing sort of your propensity to kind of use a lot of different philosophical approaches to help motivate this team. I'm curious if you use that in the way you kind of talk to the guys or help motivate them, or is that something you don't even want them worrying about?
I'm not sure what the question is.
So the team has been viewed as underdogs. So that's something you kind of lean into as a coaching tactic as well to kind of help motivate them, or is that you don't want them even thinking about sort of that outside noise?
No, that's not a word that I've been using. So that's something that has been used by the outside world. It is what it is. I think we have earned our right to be in this final, and we're going to give it everything we have in order to get a good result against Miami again. no difference to all the games that we've played so far in the playoffs. So that's about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Final one, we'll go with JR.
Hey, Coach, JR DeBar, Blue City Radio. Thank you for the time.
You're welcome,
Just
JR.
on a lighter note, Thanksgiving is obviously a very large holiday in the United States. How familiar are you with the holiday? Do you have any plans yourself for Thursday? Does the team have anything planned, or is that simply not possible with such a strict diet regimen leading up to a very big weekend?
Well, I'm quite certain that we're going to eat healthy once we're in the building on Thursday, because the planning, of course, is for them to have a training session. We've brought back the time slightly, I think a half an hour or so they can be with their families just a little bit earlier than usual. You have to respect the traditions, and that's something that we will do for sure. But we also have to keep in mind that we have a very important game on Saturday. So I trust my players to be professional enough about that and make sure that they do the right things in order to be prepared for a Friday session and traveling to Miami and play a good game on Saturday.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Recording stopped.